All right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers.
Welcome to the Loose Wheel Podcast, episode 31. Assuming that I've updated my thing that tells me we're at 31. I have. So, yeah.
Yep.
Ethan there as always. Andrew Hazlett here.
Yes, and I can confirm that this is episode 31.
Yeah, I did check. I did check. We are checking, and we are good to box.
Box. Stay out.
It's too late.
Too late.
All right, already a Ferrari joke. Not even a minute in.
You gotta love it.
Let's get into the reviews.
And now for last week's race reviews.
Road America Sports Car Weekend thingy. That's what they'd call it something, Sports Car Weekend. But sporty cars, how I love you, sporty cars. You get me pick points so I can stay relevant in this title fight. Beautiful poem by me. Road America.
Beautiful.
Not much happened.
Shakespeare-esque.
Yeah. This is also probably maybe the final Zoom episode for a while. So that's fun.
Probably is, yeah.
Well, yeah.
We might have one more.
But we'll see. The 10 team of Wayne Taylor Racing, they were dominating. But I know it says boat on the itinerary, but there were no boats. This is not the Miami fake marina or the Yas Marina. They lost on strategy because they burned too much gas and they weren't saving under the L's. So that's kind of bad. And then the 6 Porsche, they took over the lead late and wound up winning. A couple other cars, the 40, the Wayne Taylor Andretti teammate to the 10, they had a drive-through for contact with the 85. Fun. 01 Cadillac had multiple minor incidents. They were second in the championship. Now they're down to third. They have I think the prototypes only have 2 races left, and the GTs have 3. So that's something to watch out for the title battle here. And then you had in LMP2, Ben, the number 2 team, which I'm calling Ben squared, having 2 Bens, or they dominated. Ben Hanley and Ben Keating, their first win for United this in LMP2. GTD 35 car, they won on strategy by doing a 1-stopper when everyone else was doing 2. So good job by Conquest Racing. In GTD Pro, the 96 inherited the lead late in GTD Am. I don't know why I could call this GTD Pro, but yeah. 96 inherited the lead in the regular GTD when the 12 Lexus came in, so they didn't save enough. The 32 was running well earlier, but they had a bad strategy. That would be all for the reviews. Let's take a look at the points now in IMSA now, shall we? In first place for... Actually, they haven't updated on Wikipedia, so that's an L. Do they have it updated on IMSA.com? I would hope so. If I can figure this website out. Standings. We do have it updated. Good job, IMSA, for not being incompetent. We have the 7 Porsche over the 6 Porsche by 100 points. And then the 01 Cadillac, they're behind by 187. And then a ways down to the 31 Cadillac, who's in 4th. 40 Acura, then the 10 Acura. Then I think it's the 24 Porsche. Or the 24 BMW, I can't read. And then you have the 5 Proton Mustang sampling Porsche. Then the 25 BMW. And then the 85 JDC Porsche.
So I admittedly, Andrew, have
Mhm.
no idea how the point scoring works for IMSA. So are these title battles close at all, or
Let me
are
check.
they all about wrapped up?
It's close because the maximum amount of points you can earn in a race weekend is 385. My math is right. Minimum, assuming that there's going to be the 10 cars that run every race, you're going to be at 231. So that's you can lose 140 points in a race for
So very much alive.
yeah, they're very much alive.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. We'll see with the upcoming entry list if there's any additional cars. Going into LMP2, you have the 52 PR1 Mathiasen with Inter Europol team. They now lead over the 74 Riley. That is by 27 points. And then they lead over the 18 Era team by a little less than 100. And then you have the number 2 United team that just won. They're again a little less than 100 there. And then it's a ways to, I don't know which driver is that. I don't know. Because these teams change on me all the team. Where is Mr. That is the 22 United team in the 5th position, or 5th position rather. They're a little less than 200 out, so they're ways away. And then you have the 99 AO team, followed by the 11 team of, what are they now? Because they've changed their name like 3 times in the last 4. TDS, fun times. And then you have the 88 AF Corsa, then the Tower Motorsports 8, and then you have the 33 the dentist Ligier team. I don't know what their actual name is. Sean Creech. I should know that. And then you have the 20 team way back there, 400 points. So yeah, the high class team last in points, not very high class. So yeah, that championship still much alive. GTD Pro, we have the 77 AO Porsche Rexy. They're leading still over the 23 team of Heart of Racing. Then the 14 Lexus. Might as well tell you how far the gaps between. The Aston Martin Heart of Racing team, they are 76 points behind the Porsche. And the Lexus, they're 173 behind the Porsche. And you have the 3 Cadillac team. They are not quite. They're 190 points back. And then you have the 1 Paul Miller. Don't know where I'm getting Brian from. They're 220 or 230 or so. And then ways back. These teams are kind of out of it, but I'm going to run them down real quickly. The 4 Cadillac, the 70 McLaren. No, wait, that's the 9 McLaren. Wrong number. And then you have the 2 Fords, I believe the 65 and 64. And that's all the full-time teams. Ford this year, not what they're wanting to be, way off of everyone else. And then finally, GTD. The Windward Racing team, they've been winning a lot. And they are 250 plus ahead of the 96 Turner team, who is over 200 ahead of the next car, the Lexus 12 team. So yeah, not much of a title fight there. That one might be wrapped up soon. Again, well, with GTD, because it's a bigger class, it's a bigger gap. that you are bigger gap between first and last because there's a lot more cars. I'm not going to do the math, but it is going to be, I think they have about more like 16 cars. So that's a gap of 220 that you can gain if it's 15 or 16 cars. It might be more, might be less. I'm not doing the math right now, but you get the point. It's a big gap. I'm going to run through the rest of the cars here real quickly. You have the 32 of the Korthoff Preston team. They are fourth. And you have the 34 Conquest. You have the 27 Heart of Racing team, 70 McLaren, 66 Acura, the 78 Lamborghini, I believe. Yeah, 78 Lamborghini. Which there's another Lamborghini driver in there somewhere. I don't know how he snuck in there. I'm trying to figure this out. Because the IMSA site goes by driver and not by team. Oh, it's the 45 Lamborghini as well. That's tied with a 78 Lamborghini. Lamborghinis running very close together. And then you have the 13 Chevrolet. And then you go down to the Porsche 86 Porsche. Yeah, the 86 Porsche. I forgot they even ran. And then you have I don't know what this team is. It's a Ford team. I didn't. Oh yeah, the 555 Proton team is full time. I've yet to realize that. I'm losing my mind a little bit. And that's all the full time teams. Who knows? There'll be other cars racing. So yeah, championship fights still open in the air. So enough of me rambling about sports cars for now. Let's get into the news, Ethan.
Let's do it.
And now for the news.
Andretti Global openly eyeing NASCAR Cup Series team. Every few years, this pops up of Andretti interested in NASCAR team. So yeah, someone pointed out on the internet because Andretti recently released a video. Yeah, we'd like to go Cup Series racing. They basically said that, and people just got on the rumors quickly. But yeah, they do have connections. Marco Andretti is racing trucks in ARCA. The Spire Motorsports has Gamebridge as a sponsor, and Group 1001 and Delaware Life. They've all been sponsoring Spire cars, and Rev Cars, who's in alliance with Spire. So yeah, you've got that there that's existing. So the rumor is Andretti may buy into Spire. We'll see.
How likely do you think it is?
There is. I would not be surprised or shocked if it happened.
Yeah.
But I do not expect it to happen. So that
Really?
kind of gives you a gauge. I know, like 2019, they were going to say they were going to buy into what was then Richard Petty Motorsports, which has since became Petty GMS and now Legacy Motor Club. But that rumor's long gone. And there was a rumor where they were going to bring Honda in as a new manufacturer. Now that's all but gone because their ties to that company are going to only be in IndyCar, and there's rumors that where they're going to leave Honda in IndyCar at the end of this year or next year. Yeah. So that them bringing Honda is not going to happen. But yeah, it would probably be with Chevy because you have the potential Formula One teams with Chevy. They're supposedly going to be switching to IMSA with Chevy, and maybe in IndyCar too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the Formula One expansion that isn't happening, despite them building factory for it and basically getting prepared for it to happen. I think to me that signals that, maybe this is a turn of the page, and Andretti is kind of seriously considering expanding into multiple different motorsport series. So I wouldn't I'm not as knowledgeable on the subject as you, but I could see it happening just because they seem to be in an expansionist era.
Yeah. Going into the next piece of news, Ethan, I don't know if you know that this guy is my favorite Formula One driver of all time.
I did not know that.
You learn something new every day. And he is going NASCAR racing again. Juan Pablo Montoya returns to NASCAR in
Gotta
the
love
number
JPM.
50 2311 racing entry at Watkins Glen, which has been the, I guess, new Project 91 car this year. So, yeah,
I love it.
we'll see. Now we just need to bring Marcus Ambrose back.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
that would be awesome. But
Yeah.
Juan Pablo Montoya, absolute legend. Arguably the greatest race car driver in this generation. Yes, Schumacher exists. Yes, Hamilton exists. But did they do anything outside of Formula One? No. So you have an argument there for Juan Pablo Montoya.
I would say the I'd say there's an argument, and probably he's the only one with a serious argument, but best all around in like multiple series. But even then, I don't know if that's enough to say he's better than Schumacher or Hamilton just because he did more all around, you know?
Yeah, I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying that there is a valid logical argument to that.
Yeah, I'd argue against that, but that's not taking anything away from Juan Pablo Montoya. I mean, he's, like I said, like all around, yes, definitely. Like him and Fernando Alonso are the only two drivers currently who have 2 out of 3 legs of the motorsport triple crown. Like
Mm-hmm.
the all around winning is definitely there.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how he'll fare. I hope he does well. And maybe someday we'll see his son in somewhere. Because he's
Somewhere,
in
yeah.
Formula 3 right now, Sebastian Montoya. I'll be rooting for him because of his father. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Going into Formula 1, Ethan, what you
Yes.
got for us?
Well, it's it was looking like it was going to be a little bit of a slower news week, but I found some things for us to talk about. The two main pieces of news are regarding team principals. So firstly, we have Andrea Stella, who is, of course, the team principal of McLaren. He is signing a multi-year extension with the team. He's been there since 2015. He's been promoted a couple times, and under his command as team principal, they've really taken that next step into now becoming a genuine championship threat, at least in the constructors championship. You know, he's doing everything that Zach Brown could want from him and arguably more. So, of course, we don't know the exact year that this new contract will run out till. Just given the nature of Formula One contracts, we never really know exactly how long they last, which is pretty annoying, but that's just the way it is. But like I said, it is a multi-year extension, so you have to think at least, I mean, obviously at least 2 years, probably 3 years. That's what's pretty standard in the industry. So it's the right move for both, makes sense for both. There's not really anyone better for the McLaren job than the guy who is proving his ability to take the team up the grid. And for Andrea Stella, there's no really better job opportunity anywhere else. So win-win for the both of them. And as a McLaren fan, a little bit biased for a second, I like it. On to the next bit of team principal news. Jonathan Wheatley, who you might recognize for being the Red Bull sporting director. Well, he is leaving the team after almost 20 years, and he's going to go over to Audi to be the new team principal. We talked about how they were bringing in Mattia Binotto to be kind of the CEO of the project. And now they have the team principal. So I do like this move because it means that Mattia will not be running the team day to day, which like we discussed when we talked about Mattia, he's very great at certain things, but running a team day to day is not one of his strong suits. So I like that they brought someone else in to do that. For Jonathan Wheatley, though, he doesn't really have any experience being a team principal. I mean, he is the sporting director, so he works high up in Red Bull, of course. But this is going to be a new challenge for him. But given his success as Red Bull sporting director, I mean, Red Bull has won countless championships during his time there between Max and Sebastian Vettel. So he's obviously extremely competent. So I trust him to do well in his new role, but it is a new role. There might be some challenges there. And yeah, he'll finish out the year with Red Bull. You know, I'm sure he's still committed to trying to get the Constructors' Championship for the team and Max another Drivers' Championship. But yeah, he will be leaving after the year's up, and over to Audi he goes.
Yeah, it might be. This might be here, Ethan. Start of a not a downfall, but more of a valley for Red Bull here.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say that in different wording and such. I'm just gonna go ahead and disagree. Like, yeah, Jonathan Wheatley is leaving. That's true. Adrian Newey is leaving. Yeah, sure, but when James Vowles left Mercedes, I mean, granted, Mercedes wasn't on top of the moon anymore. They were quote unquote dark days or whatever, hardly dark days, but you know what I mean. They weren't themselves anymore. But it didn't exactly take them. It didn't take them long to bounce back. They're strong now. They're not dominant Mercedes, but so I guess maybe you're right. Maybe a valley, but to the people saying like, oh, this is the downfall. Red Bull will never recover from this. I don't agree with that. I mean, it's Red Bull. They have great options to promote within. And if they want to go outside, I mean, people want to work for Red Bull Racing because they just have such a history of winning. So I think they'll be fine. I think they'll bounce back from it. Maybe a valley, but I don't think this is something like super like impossible to bounce back from for Red Bull. I mean, we've heard all this talk about disagreements within the team, you know, Marco and Horner and Jos Verstappen and all this, but throughout it all, the team has prevailed. So you have to think that they're going to continue to prevail, at least from my perspective. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to be falling out of the top 4 of the F1 teams right now. I know they called it the big 3 in the past, but right now it's more of a fabulous 4.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't even.
They're not going to be falling out of that.
No, but even in that, there's levels to it. I can't see Red Bull even falling past maybe the second team in that pack, but I definitely can't see them falling all the way down to the third.
Yeah.
Or past the third, I should say.
Yeah. I don't think they'd fall to the fourth, but it might not be easy pickings from Max anymore for the championship and race wins. Well, we've
No,
seen it's for race wins, but for championships.
but that's also a lot of that blame has to be put on the second driver, but we've beat that horse to death. So,
Yeah.
yeah, shall we move on
Yeah, let's go on to our good friends.
over at Williams? Yeah, speaking of James Vowles, he said at Spa, speaking to motorsport.com or speaking to someone, and then Motorsport used these quotes. I assume he spoke to motorsport.com. Basically, he said that, they're going to bring some upgrades after the summer break. And then that's kind of it for the car. They're focusing on 2025. And the reason they're going to start focusing on 2025, and, this isn't unique to Williams. Other teams are already focusing on 2025 and will be focusing on 2025, of course, because that's the season coming up. But I like what James Vowles said. He explained that, they're not switching to 2025 because 2025 is going to be a great season for them. They know that it's not, but the faster they can switch to 2025, essentially the sooner they can switch to 2026 and get in that development race for those new rules in the sport. So I thought that was really interesting, like the importance of focusing on that 2026 car as soon as possible. Williams, that's what they're gunning for. They know that this year and next year most likely as well are going to be lost seasons. So you got to put the eggs in the basket for 2026. And it's an interesting concept and probably the right one. Yeah. And then the last bit of news, really it's not news. It's yeah, it's pretty funny. So Aston Martin essentially created a press release to say that they have no news, and I'll read it to you all. The Aston Martin Armco F1 team is a very appealing project with Lance Stroll's vision, a state-of-the-art new technology campus, and exciting
Hold on.
with Armco and Honda. Yes.
Did you say Lance Stroll's vision?
Lawrence Stroll's vision. My apologies.
If they said Lance Stroll's vision, I would have cracked up. But Lawrence Stroll's vision is still
Lance Stroll's vision. Maybe not the best. Lawrence Stroll's,
somewhat better.
A good bit better, but yeah. Anyway, continuing on, many high-profile individuals across all areas of the team are linked to the project, and then this is the great part, but we don't have anything to announce. So they created a press release announcing that they have nothing to announce, and it's not like totally random. I mean, obviously very random to release a press release saying that breaking news, we don't have news. That's basically what they did. It didn't come completely out of left field, though. There have been rumors that Lawrence Stroll has offered Adrian Newey a Shohei Ohtani level contract to the tune of $400 million. So,
and there's been rumors of Max Verstappen to the team, possibly.
Yeah, so the rumor mill is going crazy for some reason with Aston Martin. I cannot believe the Max Verstappen rumor at all. I think if he were to go anywhere, it would be Mercedes, but even that in my head is such a long shot. The Adrian Newey rumor, I can definitely believe it. Believe it more anyway. $400 million. I don't know about all that, but I can definitely believe that they are in talks with Adrian Newey, and that is seemingly the rumor that they are trying to address without actually addressing it by releasing this statement saying that they don't have a statement, if you follow me. So yeah, I'm not too sure what to make out of all this, but those are the rumors, and it's just when me and Andrew found out about that release, gave us both a good chuckle. So
Yeah, gave me chicken award time
chicken
here.
squeak.
I don't know if you can hear the squeak, but yeah, try to talk while the chicken's going so it actually gets picked up by the meat here. Yeah, we've had announcements of announcements announcing that there'll be an announcement, but announcements saying that there's no announcement. That's a new level.
Yeah,
of
we've also had
executive
announcements saying that announcements shouldn't have been announced.
Yeah,
Like we've
yeah,
seen all different combinations of announcements, but an announcement saying that they don't have anything to announce, yeah, that's got to be a new one.
yeah. Like Bill, it's announcing that there's no news. Like saying, yeah, that we have nothing to be hyped about. Sorry, guys.
And over to Jim with the weather.
Yeah, there we go. Chicken squeaks. Throw the chicken. And final piece of news. Surprise. Well, not surprising news, but Hertz Team Jota to take over Cadillac Hypercar program and WEC from 2025 onward. As we have documented here, Ganassi and Cadillac are splitting in the sports car land. We've talked about how Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti Global is going to take that in IMSA. The WEC partner is formally announced. So yeah, and the team will be called Cadillac Hertz Team Jota. No quite Visa Cash App RB F1 team or Stake F1 team Kick Sauber, but it is still Cadillac Hertz Team Jota. A few still a long team name, but fun. I would expect this team to be about running where both cars are now. So solid cars, threat of podium, probably running about 6th, 7th. And now for the previews.
And now for next week's race previews.
Ethan.
Let's do it. We only got one series running. That
We
is
got-
NASCAR.
We're Richmond, as Bill Weber once said, after he butched a call saying that Kevin Harvick sweeps the racing at Bristol this year when they were at Richmond.
It was
And
not.
then, yeah, it was not Bristol. And then one of the color guys said, "Where are we, Bill?" And Bill said, "We're Richmond." And then the other one goes, "You big dummy."
Yeah, big dummy.
So yeah, on the Cup side this week, you have your notable entries of Riley Herbst in the 15, Ty Dillon in the 16, and a surprise Parker Retzloff in the MBM 66. The team that to get him approved for Daytona, they made him run a shorter track before you do that. So yeah, that's why he's running.
Who's this Mr. Parker Coleslaw?
Retzlaff. He is an Xfinity driver. He burst on the scene. I don't know. It wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago when he just drove the RSS cars, which outside of Ryan Sieg are like fairly mid to like the top 12 and like 2 races before they broke down on him. So like, oh yeah, everyone was really hyped on this kid. He hasn't done much since, but never
heard of the guy.
He hasn't won anything, but he hasn't had any race winning equipment. He's done a solid job.
Okay.
He's a solid race car driver.
Yeah.
Looking at gonna give you my 5 guys to win here. I'm trying to pull up both Richmond Wikipedia articles because I love Wikipedia. That's how I gotta get we have Kyle, my $5 to watch, Kyle Busch. He's won a lot of times here, even though he isn't great now. In the spring race, 5 times by my count. And in the fall race, he has won 1 time. Another multi-time winner, won 3 times in the fall race, 2 times in the spring race. Denny Hamlin, threat to win, obviously. Gonna go with Martin Truex Jr. as my 3rd guy. Won once in the spring race, twice in the fall race. Another guy you cannot sleep on is the defending winner of the fall race, Chris Buescher. That's my 4th guy, and my 5th guy is Kyle Larson, who's won once in the spring race and once in the fall race. Other race winners I didn't mention: 2-time winner Brad Keselowski. He's won twice in the fall race. 1-time winner of the spring race, Alex Bowman, and 2-time winner of the spring race, Joey Logano. So there's a good deep field to choose from, Richmond. So I gave you honorable mentions even. Like going over to the Truck Series, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is their cutoff race before the playoffs. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more here, if I did remember that correctly. Yes, I did. You have, let's see, I'm doing some quick math here. 42. Okay, so you have the following 7 drivers are locked in: Christian Eckes, Corey Heim, Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, Rajah Cruz, Tyler Ankrum, and Grant Enfinger, by my count. The following 3 drivers are on the bubble. Taylor Gray, he sits at 425 points, and the bubble he's 48 points above the bubble. At 22 points above the bubble is Ben Rhodes. Tanner Gray is 5 points above the bubble. Daniel Dye, 5 points below the bubble. 16 points below the bubble, you have Stuart Friesen. And then, I gotta do some math here. I'm not a math major, so bear with me. 43 points behind the bubble, Matt Crafton. 44 for Chase Purdy. And all the guys after that, you have to win a race to get in. Those would be Dean Thompson, Lane Riggs, Jake Garcia, Bailey Curry, Ty Dillon, Brett Holmes, Matt Mills, Tim Hill, Mason Massey, Wallace Allen, Spencer Boyd, bringing up the rear of those guys. I believe Thad Moffitt isn't eligible, but he might be eligible. I don't know. I don't think he is, but that withdrawal of Nashville, maybe he might get a waiver, maybe he might not have the waiver. I don't know. But I wouldn't expect him to be winning a race anyway. So yeah, you have those drivers I mentioned. Your notables this race, guys who are not regulars that are coming in. Number 1, you have William Solich. Number 7, you have Connor Zilich. That's for Spire, the 3rd Spire car. The 1 is the 5th Tricon car. The 3rd Young's Motorsports car, which is now the number 20, will be driven by Jerry Bowman. And with the sponsor Bull for Life, I felt like mentioning that. The 2nd and 3rd Rayum Brothers cars, the 22 and 27, will be driven by Keith McGee and driver TBA. The 3rd Nice car will be driven by Caden Honeycutt, the 45 truck. Connor Jones will be in the 5th Thor Sport truck, the 66. Henderson Motorsports will be at the race this week with Stephen Parsons in the 75. Justin Carroll will be in the 90. Trey Hutchins, I skipped him. He'll be in the 14 truck this week for his team, or his family's team. Carroll will be for his family's team. The 4th McNally Hilgeman truck, the number 91, will be driven by Connor Hall. Mason Maggio will be in the 21 for Floridian Motorsports. And Thad Moffitt will be in the 46 for the second Young's truck this week. So there you go. There you have it. And now, Ethan, time for the pick points.
My favorite segment.
And now for next week's race picks.
Of the day, very quickly. Going over last week, you and me each picked up 1 point for the Porsche 7 coming ahead of the 31 Whelen. And then you went ahead and got 3 more points because your 99 AO, your 1 Paul Miller, and your 70 Inception came ahead of my picks and the guest picks. So you are creeping up behind me. I'm still leading with 258 points, but you're right there with 250. You could, if you sweep the weekend, you would be the new pick points leader. And then the guests all the way down in 200.
Haven't scored points in weeks.
Huh?
Haven't scored points in weeks.
Yeah, it has been since the week of Hungary, Formula One, IndyCar Toronto, and Indianapolis NASCAR that the guests have scored. So it's been a 2-week scoreless slump for the guests, and I think your goal was to keep it that way because after asking multiple times, I gave in to Andrew's great idea. What is Andrew's great idea, I hear you ask? Well, Andrew wanted me to get my pet cat, Sammy, who you might have heard on episodes throughout the podcast, meowing in the background and such. Andrew wanted me to get Sammy to pick for the guests this week. How did I do that, do you ask? Well, Andrew sent me a list of about 1 million drivers. I set out about 1 million of my sister's stuffed animals and corresponded each stuffed animal to a position that that driver was in terms of the standings. And we got our results. So for the truck series, starting with the guest, my cat, Sammy, ended up picking Grant Enfinger to win the Richmond Truck Series. And honestly, it could have been a lot worse of a pick. Grant Enfinger, you know, he's on a good stretch right now. He had a 6th in Nashville and then a 2nd and a 3rd at Pocono and the Indianapolis Raceway Park circuit. He's solid at Richmond. I don't believe he's won there. I might be wrong in that, but he has been in the past there or thereabout. Last year he was top 10. Year before that he was top 5. He actually did win Richmond. I apologize. That would have been in 2020. So he does have success there. He's driving good right now. So for a cat that is picking something completely random to it, who doesn't have any idea what it's doing, solid pick in Grant Enfinger. I personally went with Ty Majeski, who is not only coming off a win at that Raceway Park circuit, but is very good at Richmond in the past. 2nd there, 2023. 3rd there, 2022. If trends continue, Andrew, he's looking at a win. 3rd,
Okay.
2nd. 1st is next.
Okay, old Larry McReynolds, I got something for you. This dude is the only dude in the field who has beaten Kimi Antonelli in an FIA series. I'm going with
Fun
Zilich
fact.
the Thrillich, Connor Zilich, which is my new nickname for him that I just gave him. Zilich the Thrillich.
Zilich the Thrillich. That is, well, if it catches on, I'll be surprised. That's all I'll say about that. What did he beat Mr. Antonelli in?
It
I'm
was
curious.
whatever the karting series is. One of them.
One of them junior karting series.
Yeah.
The more
It
you know.
was 3 races and he won 2 of them. So yeah.
According to his Wikipedia page, I think that would be the Karting Academy Trophy.
All right. There you go.
Which he won in
2020.
2020 ahead of Maceo Capito and Maxime Ferron Castellane. So yeah, good for Connor Zilich.
Yeah. Fun fact with Andrew.
Charles Leclerc is a former winner, so
Yeah.
good company. Good company. Richard Vachor is there. Antoine Hubert has a second place. Rinus VK has third place. You know, there's some names that have come through that series. Okay.
Yeah. Going into the Cup Series, your cat.
Yeah, Chase Elliott. Again, like could have been about a million times worse. So I don't know. Maybe if my cat gets points before could you hear me? I think my Wi-Fi froze for a second.
Yeah, I can hear you. If your cat gets points before what?
If my cat gets points before the 2 humans that have picked the last 2 weeks, that would be pretty funny. So yeah, it's not the worst pick ever with Chase Elliott. Like I believe he's leading or he's second place in the Cup Series. Andrew, you would know.
I think he's second.
He's second. Yeah, he placed 5th there in 22. In 23, it didn't go so well for him, but you know it's a track that he does good at. He has multiple top 5s in 2018, 2020, and 2021 and 2022. So quick scan of his Wikipedia page, it seems that a win has evaded him at Richmond, but another guy who is always there or thereabout. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes for Chase Elliott. I'm picking Denny Hamlin, who is very strong at Richmond. In recent years, it seems as if, you know, it's a very likely top 3, if not a win. He has won there in recent times, so I'm very happy with the pick.
With the summer break, it's a reset. 2 weeks. I think this is a time to get hot. And like going forward, if you these I want to say 5-6 races, actually might be less than that, but if we have a repeat winner on these tracks for the playoffs, they should be the championship favorite because right now it's wide open. You do have Elliott, Larson, Reddick running well. Hamlin's run well this year, but going back to what I said just a moment ago, got to win these races. I look last year, who won 3 of these races heading into the playoffs? Chris Buescher. I'm going to think it's about time for that 17 team to get hot. Hasn't won anything this year. I think it's about about time for that team to get rolling, pick up some wins, and I'm gonna be picking them this race here, Richmond. Gonna go back to back in terms of winning this race last year, winning it this year.
Yeah. So we'll see who looks like a genius this time next week, or I mean, we'll know over the weekend, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
So I think that is all for the two of us. Andrew, you got any final words?
Goodbye.
All right. Don't be a big dummy. And we'll see you next week.
To me, it looked like he actually lost the wheel.
The wheel for Ross Chastain is still and perfect.
Wheel on the track.
Did you leave the wheel loose?
You picked the fine time to leave me loose, wheel.